Have you ever met someone who genuinely enjoys being alone? Not lonely, just alone. While most people chase social gatherings, constant messages, and endless noise, there are individuals who feel most comfortable in silence. They recharge when they're by themselves. They think better when the world is quiet. And strangely, they often understand people more deeply than those who are always surrounded by others. So why is that? Why do some people prefer solitude over social interaction? Is it shyness, past trauma, or something deeper in human psychology? In this video, we're going to explore the fascinating psychology behind people who prefer being alone. And you might be surprised to discover what it actually says about their personality. Section 1, alone does not mean lonely. First, let's clear up one of the biggest misconceptions. Preferring to be alone does not mean someone is lonely. Loneliness is the painful feeling of wanting connection but not having it. Solitude, on the other hand, is a choice. People who enjoy being alone often feel perfectly content in their own company. In fact, many psychologists suggest that the ability to enjoy solitude is a sign of strong emotional independence. Instead of relying on constant social stimulation, these individuals are comfortable with their own thoughts, ideas, and inner world. And that's something many people struggle with. For a lot of individuals, silence can feel uncomfortable. Being alone forces them to face their thoughts, worries, and emotions. But for someone who prefers solitude, that quiet space becomes a place of clarity. Section 2, they often think more deeply. Another interesting psychological trait of people who enjoy being alone is deep thinking. When you remove constant distractions, conversations, notifications, noise, the brain has more room to process ideas. That's why many philosophers, writers, scientists, and innovators throughout history spent large amounts of time alone. Solitude allows the mind to wander, analyze, and reflect. People who prefer being alone often spend time thinking about life, human behavior, personal goals, and deeper questions that others may never stop long enough to consider. This doesn't mean they dislike people. It simply means they value mental space. Section 3, they are often highly observant. Interestingly, people who spend more time observing than speaking tend to notice things others miss. When you're not constantly talking or trying to be the center of attention, your brain shifts into observation mode. You begin noticing small behaviors, tone of voice, facial expressions, and subtle changes in mood. Over time, this makes many solitude-loving individuals excellent readers of people. They may appear quiet, but internally they're analyzing social dynamics, personalities, and motivations. This is why many introverted or solitude-preferring people have strong intuition about others. They watch before they speak. Section 4, they protect their energy. From a psychological perspective, social interaction requires energy. For extroverts, social environments can actually increase energy levels. But for people who prefer being alone, too much social activity can feel draining. After long conversations, crowded gatherings, or constant interaction, they may feel mentally exhausted. Solitude becomes their way of recharging. Instead of seeing alone time as isolation, they see it as recovery. It allows their mind to reset, their thoughts to settle, and their energy to return. Section 5. They value meaningful connections. One surprising fact about people who enjoy solitude is that they often value relationships more deeply, not less. They usually prefer a small circle of meaningful connections rather than a large network of acquaintances. Instead of shallow interactions, they seek conversations that feel genuine and thoughtful. This is why many solitude-loving individuals appear very selective about who they spend time with. It's not arrogance, it's intentional. They would rather invest their time in a few authentic relationships than spread their energy across many superficial ones. Section 6. They are comfortable with themselves. Perhaps one of the most powerful psychological traits behind people who enjoy being alone is self-comfort. They are not constantly seeking external validation. They don't always need approval, attention, or social noise to feel secure. Instead, they build a relationship with themselves. They reflect on their goals, their values, and their personal growth. and this internal stability often leads to higher levels of self-awareness. When you spend time alone, you begin understanding your own patterns, your fears, motivations, strengths, and weaknesses. This self-understanding can create emotional maturity that many people never develop. Section 7. Society often misunderstands them. Unfortunately, society sometimes misunderstands people who enjoy solitude. Quiet individuals may be labeled as antisocial, distant, or unfriendly, but in reality, many of them simply operate differently. They think before speaking, they observe before reacting, and they value peace over constant stimulation. In a world that often rewards loudness and visibility, quiet strength can easily be overlooked. Yet many of the most creative, thoughtful, and insightful individuals throughout history shared this preference for solitude. Closing, so the next time you meet someone who enjoys being alone, remember something important. Their silence doesn't mean emptiness. It often means depth. Their solitude isn't loneliness. It's a space where ideas grow, emotions settle, and self-understanding develops. And sometimes, the people who spend the most time alone are the ones who understand the world and themselves the best. Outro: if you enjoy psychology and understanding human behavior, make sure to subscribe for more videos like this. Because the more we understand the human mind, the more we understand ourselves.